go. We're waiting for people to join, but we are on here now. And I can put it on here so that I can see the chat, because I learned my lesson last time that you can't see the chat on there. It disappears so quickly. Good morning, everybody. I know you're not listening right now, but good morning. We have a pretty good trivia quiz for you today. I know. I have notifications for everything because I just forget things so easily. Okay. No, don't take you. Stop it. Giving me a second here. Yes, close player, and then go to this. All right, now turn the volume down so it doesn't echo. That should. Okay. Oh, now we're going to be like a little bit.
Okay, delayed.
There's like a way to hit a button that should make you go right to the live version. There we go. Now it's caught up. Okay. All right. Hello. So who's there? I see two people. Hello. Maybe my mom and dad are one of them. Leave a chat if you can. So I can still hear myself. So I can still, it's very cold here. What was it, like 20 something?
Or something. Yeah.
It was like 90 here like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
At least, if not sooner. So it's weird. Our weather is very strange here. Mm-hmm. So I think we'll do the retirement thing first. Hi, Jimmy. You're actually here today. My good Long Island buddy, retired cop who loves Lancaster. So he's pretty cool. Glad you're here. Hope your daughter's doing well. His daughter just got married.
Oh, how fun.
He's with a big Italian wedding. Big deal. So hopefully maybe, I think I'm going to make an email for this channel. I'm going to try to, so that I can get pictures from people like you, Jimmy. So I can see your life and all your stuff. But anyway, I'll start talking about this world news. So U.S. News and World Report listed Lancaster the #1 place to retire for 2022 to 2023. And it's interesting. They have these parameters. I'm going to go over how they measure it. And they have 6 indexes. Now, the problem is the actual article is hard to pull up because I think they want you to sign into their stuff and be a member, which I'm not going to do. But they do have a ranking. I'll go over those. But here's how they rank it. Let me know if you guys are having any problems hearing or anything in the chat, but make sure I actually have the chat on. It's a top chat. No, let's just do all chat. There we go. That's better. So, why is this not showing up? Give me a second. I know he chatted, so why isn't it showing up? Wait. Let's do this. Maybe this will be better. No? Well, hey, VA Fun Seekers. Thanks for joining me today. I saw you publish a video. I didn't get to look at it yet today, so I will, though. Hang on. I'm having problems with my chat here. I'm trying to figure out why it's not showing up on my... Sorry. Give me a minute. Why is this not showing up? It's so weird. Now there's a ninja. There's literally a ninja on my screen. All right, I'm going to close this down and start over. Not the chat. Okay, let's just try this. Maybe you can hit this button and see what people are saying. Hit the... Okay, so... Well, I'm glad you're here too. So they're YouTubers as well. They do travel stuff.
Oh, fun.
I'm going to try and pull this up a different way. Actually, I could just leave it like that. You know what? That'd be fine. Okay. Okay. So my dad says, I'm seeing it on TV and on my phone. double bonuses. Okay, so back to this U.S. News, and obviously Gail is joining me today. My lovely Lancaster buddy. I feel like we need to go back to Lancaster because we spoiled ourselves. I'm like, is it time that we should be going back again? We had 2 trips this fall. We just had a special extra trip.
Just a month late.
I know, it is November, so.
I know it.
I wish we could go back every month. That'd be awesome. So yes, the retirement indexes. So they ranked it by 6 parameters. One is the happiness index, which it asks people there, how content are you living in that area based on crime rates, air quality, and well-being in general. That's the 22% index. Next was the housing affordability, and that's kind of self-explanatory. That's 24%. That was actually the biggest one. Healthcare quality index is number 3. Availability of top quality healthcare, quantity and quality. And then that was 16%. You know, this is 100% total, of course. Next was retiree tax index. That was 16% as well. And so they do a composite score of the sales tax and the income tax. And they say it's different with every state because 37 states do not tax Social Security income, which is a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of states that don't do that. I know that Pennsylvania, they don't have sales tax, I believe, on clothing, and maybe you guys can fill me in, but I'm pretty sure that there's, hi Melanie, the taxes are really good in Pennsylvania as far as they're not high as compared to other places. So that was a big one, I think, on another list I saw. And then number 5 is desirability index. So they poll Americans and ask, how interested are you in living in a specific area? That was 13%. And then the last one is job market index. Is ample opportunities for full-time and part-time employees, because not everybody who retires wants to stop working completely. Mm-hmm. So those are 6 parameters: happiness, housing, healthcare, taxes, desirability, and job market. And so when you go to this is on realestate.usnews.com/places/rank/something else. But so Lancaster is number 1 this for the next year. And the problem is it got an overall score of 7.2 out of 10. Housing affordability was 6.4. Healthcare was 8.3. I have heard that before too. The healthcare is a big one, taxes and healthcare, and then the surroundings. So, but when you click on read more, it doesn't really tell you about the retirement. It tells you about what it's like to live there, and most of us know how amazing it is to live there. But it's a good combination of city and country for one. There's things to do downtown and in the country as well. Hiking trails. Cost of living is more affordable compared to other major metro areas. So this survey, or this article, was only based off 150 of the biggest metropolitan areas in the country. So like small cities and small towns weren't considered. It was just the 150 biggest ones of the United States. So some things might surprise you, but you know, crime rates are low. The weather, some people like seasons like me. Some people don't like seasons, but I like seasons. Would you prefer to retire somewhere with seasons?
Yes.
Me too.
Yeah.
So it basically, the different kind of population lives there. The age distribution is interesting. You know, it's pretty widespread. But basically from, what is that? 35 and up was slightly over half of the population that lived in Lancaster, and just slightly more married people than single people. So it doesn't really tell you the specifics of why they picked Lancaster to be the best to retire in, but it does tell you about Lancaster. But interestingly, the top 5 or 6 places have the same overall score. So somewhere in the details, which we can't see, it tells you why Lancaster won. But Harrisburg was number 2, which I thought was, I'm actually very shocked by this list in some realms. Pensacola, Florida was number 3. Tampa, Florida was number 4. York, Pennsylvania, my hometown, was number 5. Naples, Florida, 6. Daytona Beach, Florida, 7. Ann Arbor, Michigan, 10. Michigan? Mm-hmm. Allentown, Pennsylvania. Again, I'm like, what? Healthcare is really high on that one, 8.8. That was number 9. And then Reading, Pennsylvania, number 10. So I'm a little surprised how many Pennsylvania places are in here. But then as you go down through, there's Florida, Michigan, New York, Indiana, different towns in these places, New Hampshire. So again, if you want to see this list for yourself, and I can put it in the comments later. Actually, I can put it in there now. It is real estate. I'm going to type it in here. realestate.usnews.com/places/rankings. Best places to retire. So that is the article that I just was talking about. So there is it's not going to be a link, it lets you know where to find it. So interesting. I mean, that is definitely my dream, is to retire in Lancaster, somewhere close to Lancaster, or at the the other part of that is if I can't for some reason, like if my kids all decide to stay here and get married and have babies, I'm not going to leave them, but have some sort of property or, you know, small house or a condo or something in Lancaster. That'd be wonderful. So yeah, I just was very proud of Lancaster for ranking number 1 in the U.S. News Rural Report. Mm-hmm. And I remember seeing this in another article by, in 2020 to 2021, they were 5, Lancaster. So it's interesting how it changed. Like the first 4 that year were all Florida. Sarasota, Fort Myers, Port St. Lucia?
Lucie.
St. Lucie. Naples, Florida, the Lancaster was number 5. So interestingly that it switched. Florida kind of went down in the rankings. I'm not quite sure why. But I know Forbes magazine also had Lancaster in the top 10, the Forbes report. So it's a good place, based, I think, mainly on some objective, some subjective. That's what my husband was teasing me about, the subjective versus the objective. Anyway, so that was fun. I just thought that was fun to talk about that. But let's get into our fun Amish trivia, and then any kind of questions you guys have, or just chatting. We can just chat. Let me just pull things up here so I'm ready to go. Okay. That's better now. Now I can see the chat. I think I just need to make this bigger. Get over. Okay, here we go. All right. So I'll try to read the questions slowly and 2 times. They're kind of long, but I was very challenged. So I got technically a 16 out of 20 on this quiz I took with my husband and my youngest son on Monday night, just for fun when we were eating out. And I'll tell you the name of the website when we're all done, but some of them are very challenging. And one of them was wrong. So even though my score said 15 out of 20, it was 16 out of 20 because I checked with Jesse at Old Whitmore Farm and he told me I was right. So I was like, score.
Jesse.
Someone didn't do their homework on this quiz. All right, so number 1, keep track of your score. Someday I'm going to figure out how to do like prizes on here, which is going to be part of the email. But,
Fine.
okay, number 1. This is called a visit to Amish country, an unexpected visit to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Teaches a traveler about the history and the Amish. So number 1, you have an important meeting to go to in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. You go to the Amtrak station and hop on the train heading east. Unfortunately, you sleep through your stop and wake up in Lancaster. That's not unfortunate. The next train west leaves later, so you buy a map, hire a car, and decide to look around. There are some strange town names here. Of the following, which is not a town in Lancaster County? 1, Intercourse. 2, they are all towns. 3, Bird in Hand. 4, Blue Ball. So you can always just tell me which one when you click that way.
Okay.
So again, the question is, which of the following are not towns in Lancaster? I expect all of you to get this correct, actually. First one, Intercourse. Second one, they are all towns. Choice B. Choice C, Bird in Hand. Choice D, Blue Ball. So mark which one you think is. I can't tell you the answers right now, Cindy. I gotta wait till the end, and then we're gonna tally your scores. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I think we all know that. That's a pretty easy one. Okay. Number 2, you decide to start your visit by going to the Hans Eyre House. I might be saying that wrong. It's the Herr House, located in Willow Street, Pennsylvania. Upon arriving, you see a lovely stone 2-story home set on a farm. This historic homestead also has many of its outbuildings restored. In taking the tour, you discover that the home is the oldest surviving dwelling place of European settlers in Lancaster County. Built in 1719, it is also the oldest, still standing, Mennonite meeting house in the Western Hemisphere. All very interesting. I didn't know that stuff, actually. It was a former home of Hans Eyre and his son Christian, both bishops of the Mennonite faith and early Lancaster County settlers. When you leave, you purchase a print of the home derived from a painting by this famous artist who is a descendant of Hans Eyre. Number 1, Thomas Hart Benton. Number 2, Grant Wood. Number 3, Andrew Wyeth. Number 4, John Stewart Curry. I'll say it again. When you leave, you purchase a print of the Eyre house derived from a painting by this famous artist, who was a descendant of Hans Eyre. 1, Thomas Hart Benton. 2, Grant Wood. 3, Andrew Wyeth. And 4, John Stewart Curry. We should have some Jeopardy music playing here. Where is my... Just make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, you guys all got the first one right, so I'm so proud of you. Cindy, I don't know about Tennessee being on the list. It might be in the top 25 or 30, but I didn't go down that far, so. Okay. I'm going to go to the next question. I'm getting thirsty already. This is in trouble. Okay, this historic town of Strasbourg has many Federal-era homes. You also take a ride on the Strasbourg Railroad, America's oldest short-line railroad, which was established in 1832. The restored steam engine travels through farmlands up to Paradise and back. Across the street is a world-class museum where you will find America's largest indoor display of what? A. Railroad cars and engines. B. Antique and current farm equipment. C. Model trains. Or D. Conestoga wagons. Again, the museum across from the Strasbourg Railroad, you will find what? America's largest indoor display of A. Railroad cars and engines. B. Antique and current farm equipment. C. Model trains. And D. Conestoga wagons. Okay, this one was almost a trick question. Depends on how you, well, we'll talk about that later. Okay. Okay. Number 4. I'll tell you in a minute, Cindy. I'll tell you at the end of the thing. Okay. Number 4. Upon leaving the museum, you decide to head back to Lancaster City, where you will catch your train to Harrisburg. When you arrive back in the city, you realize that you still have some time for exploration. So you stop at the visitor center in downtown and ask for a recommendation for lunch. They suggest that you walk over to Central Market, one of the oldest operating farmers markets, we were just there, in America. You enjoy a nice sausage sandwich with homemade root beer. Back at the visitor center, a host recommends that you take a tour of Wheatland, which we did too.
Yep.
It's like our question. The former home of the 15th president of the United States and the only president from Pennsylvania. This president was A. Zachary Taylor, B. Andrew Johnson, C. James Buchanan, and D. Millard Fillmore. Again, the president that lived at Wheatland, who bought that property and who was from Pennsylvania, the only one from Pennsylvania, which really surprises me actually, that's the only one. Mm-hmm. Who was it? Was it Zachary Taylor, B. Andrew Johnson, C. James Buchanan, or D. Millard Fillmore? I feel like I need to educate myself better on my presidents. I'm assuming he was the president, but I don't remember him very much. Okay. Next, number 5. In Lancaster County, the General Sutter Inn is located in the town. This is an older, I actually don't know when they did this because they don't call it that anymore. They call it the Lidditz Springs Inn, just so you know. But it used to be called that before things of recent have changed names of things.
Yeah.
Anyway, in Lancaster County, the General Sutter Inn is located in the town of Lidditz at the corner of Main Street and Broad Street. Built in 1764, its current name is in honor of John Sutter, the California Gold Rush pioneer who lived his last days in Lidditz, and is buried in the cemetery there. When it first opened in 1764, it was named the Zum Anchor. What is the PA Dutch translation of this name? So really this is about the term Zum Anchor. What's the PA Dutch translation of this name? A. Home of Anchor. B. Inn of the Star. C. The Angel's Rest. Or D. The Sign of the Anchor. So again, when this first opened in 1764, it was named Zum Anchor, Zumanker, 2 words. What is the PA Dutch translation of this name? A. Home of the Anchor. B. Inn of the Star. C. The Angel's Rest. Or D. The Sign of the Anchor. So, give you a second to look at that while I check the chat. Jimmy, Revere Tavern, Buchanan. No, it's a different one, actually. It's not that same one.
Is that the one where
Oh, you were talking about sorry. Perhaps you're right about that other question. We'll get to that later. I'm glad you guys are commenting. I'm going to tell the answers at the end. We'll go over the whole quiz, but I'm glad you're commenting because if we all can, then all of us can see your answer, so that's really fun. Yeah, I didn't know what this was either, but it makes sense later. I'll tell you that. Okay, number 6. You check into your antique-filled room and decide that a walk down Main Street is in order. We were just in Lidditz, too. This is so funny. You pass many antique shops and handmade craft stores, each one more delightful than the last. True.
Yes.
The street is comprised of many historic buildings, many dating to the 1700s. At a 2-block walk, you find yourself in front of one of the loveliest sights in Lancaster County. You're standing in front of the Moravian Square. In this park-like setting, you see the beautiful Moravian church built in the 1700s. Alongside the church is the Brethren House. The Brethren House was used as this during the Revolutionary War, per the request of George Washington. A. Housing for the captured British officers. B. Quarters for the militia. C. Military hospital. Or D. Storage for military arms. So I'll read that again. As you're walking down, you see the Moravian church. Next to it is the Brethren House, and it was used during the Revolutionary War, per the request of George Washington, as A. Housing for the captured British officers. B. Quarters for the militia. C. Military hospital. Or D. Storage for military arms. Hello, congenial vintage jewelry. You're pretty smart. You may be right about this. Again, we're going to talk about the answers at the end, but thank you for commenting. Okay. You take a walk, number 7. You take a walk around the square. Across and down the street, you see an interesting old stone building. Out front is a giant one of these, as this was the first commercial maker of this in the United States. This is still in Lidditz. A. Wagon wheel. B. A pretzel. C. A plow. D. A horse's harness. I'll read it again. This is interesting the way you say it. Okay, you're in Lidditz. You're walking down the street. And I'll tell you it's on Main Street. I'll give you a hint. And you see this old stone building. Out front is a giant one of these, as this was the first commercial maker of this in the United States. A. A wagon wheel. B. A pretzel. C. A plow. Or D. A horse's harness. Probably most of you are going to get this right, too, if you know Lidditz, if you walk down Main Street. Okay, I need a drink. Hang on. Okay. Number 8. After touring the pretzel factory and eating a delicious pretzel, you decide that you want to learn more about this community. You stop at the Lidditz Historical Society and Museum up the street. You learn that Lidditz was first established in 1756 by Count Nicholas von Zindersendorf, something like that, a Moravian minister. It was designed as a Moravian utopia and was closed to all others. That is true. Marriages in the town were arranged in an unusual manner. Who married who was determined by this. I had no clue about this. So anyway, A, the board of elders decided who should marry who. B, grooms traded farm equipment to the bride's family. C, marriages were based on birth dates. Or D, the prospective groom drew a name out of a coconut shell. I'll read it again. So in the beginning of Lidditz, it was a Moravian utopia. Only the members of the church were allowed to live there. It was closed off to everybody else. And marriages were arranged in an unusual manner, and this is which of these is how it was determined. A, the board of elders decided who should marry who. B, grooms traded farm equipment to the bride's family. C, marriages were based on birth dates. And D, the prospective groom drew a name out of a coconut shell.
And what, can I just ask, what's the Moravian?
They're just a very conservative religious sect that was, based on Jesus, and it was just very conservative. Okay. And they started the school there and everything. So okay. I forget their exact religious, but it was a Jesus-based. And I forget where they're from. Maybe some of you remember where they're from and stuff, but at the moment I can't remember. But yeah, they were very conservative, religious sect. It was Jesus. It was based on Jesus. Okay. All right. Number 9. You also learn that a famous Moravian musical group got its start by announcing births and deaths to the congregation. The group is A, NSYNC, B, the Germanic Choir, C, the Moravian Trombone Choir, or D, the Moravian Trumpet Ensemble. I'll read it again. Number 9. You also learn that a famous Moravian musical group got its start by announcing births and deaths to the congregation. The group is A, NSYNC, B, the Germanic Choir, C, the Moravian Trombone Choir, or D, the Moravian Trumpet Ensemble. This might be one of those logical guess, maybe. Obviously, one of them is not right. So yeah, I really don't know a lot about them. I remember when I did a video like 2 years ago on Lidditz, I learned a little bit about it. So I probably should watch my video to remember some of it, but it's interesting. The history of Lidditz is very interesting. From the war to the Moravians, it's very interesting. Okay, number 10. You return to the General Sutter Inn for a nice gourmet dinner, now known as Lidditz Spring Inn. After dinner, you ask the clerk at the front desk for recommendations for evening entertainment. She suggests catching a play at the Fulton Opera House located in Lancaster City. You drive back down to Lancaster City to the beautiful theater. This elaborate theater was first erected in 1852, making it one of the oldest continuous operating theaters in the United States. Inside you find a lovely Victorian interior. After taking your seat, you notice that the seat next to you is empty. The usher leans down and whispers that she hopes that a ghost doesn't join you for tonight's performance. The Fulton Theater is rumored to be haunted by this or these ghosts. A. Tressa Lonhart, an actress who fell to her death during a performance. B. Colin Martin, a stage manager in the 1930s who was killed in a fired. I don't know what that means. He was killed there, I guess. C. James Lowry and Alexander Lamont, who fought a duel outside his doors over an actress. Or D. Conestoga Indians murdered on this site. So I'll read it again. You're at the Fulton Opera House in Lancaster City. You're sitting at your seat, old, from 1852, and you're sitting in your seat, and the usher says that she hopes that a ghost doesn't visit you during the performance. So the Fulton Theater is rumored to be haunted by this or these ghosts. A. Tressa Lonhart, an actress who fell to her death during a performance. B. Colin Martin, a stage manager in the 1930s who was killed in whatever that means. C. James Lowry and Alexander Lamont, who fought a duel outside his doors over an actress. Or D. Conestoga Indians murdered on this site. Okay. Number 11. The performance is excellent. During intermission, you want to learn more about the theater. You discovered that many famous people have performed here. The first professional performance was by A. the Barrymore family, B. Sarah Bernhardt, C. What did I say Z? B. Sarah Bernhardt, C. Old Bull, or D. John Wilkes and Edwin Booth. I'll read it again. You want to learn more about the theater, so you go and ask, find out more information, and you find the first professional performance at the Fulton Opera House was performed by A. the Barrymore family, B. Sarah Bernhardt, C. Old Bull, or D. John Wilkes and Edwin Booth. I had no clue about this either. You gotta really know the Fulton Opera House to know these things, I believe. Okay. Okay. Number 12. What a day. I like how this is like a story. This is why I wanted to do it. It's kind of fun to like pretend you're this person. What a day. You arrive back at the General Sutter exhausted. After a good night's sleep, you awaken to a lovely breakfast. In talking with your waitress, you discover that you have not begun to experience Lancaster County. She suggests a visit to the heart of Amish country for a look at the Amish lifestyle. You drive down to Intercourse past many Amish farms. Arriving in Intercourse, you find that this is not the first name of the town. The original name was A. King's Crossing, B. Weaver Village, C. Blackbird Town, or D. Cross Keys. Again, the original name of the town of Intercourse was A. King's Crossing, B. Weaver Village, C. Blackbird Town, or D. Cross Keys. So if you've ever read the sign, you'll know the answer to this. There's a sign on the side of the road that says the answer. It also makes sense, I think. There's actually another one of these towns somewhere else. You guys are so smart. I thought you would all do good in this. Except that some of these are really random. Some of these I'm just like, what? So I got read a text real quick, or a chat. What did she say? Oh, bye, Cindy. You can watch the rest of it later and you'll find out how you did. I bet you do well. You have a good day too. Okay. Number 13. In town, you decide to take a buggy ride from one of the local tour operators. The buggy is the traditional mode of transportation for the Amish. Your tour guide tells you about many Amish traditions. He states that the Amish usually reserve their marriages for a certain month of the year. That month is A, September, B, June, C, November, D, May. Again, the local buggy tour guide said that the Amish usually reserve their marriages for a certain time of the year. That month is A, September, B, June, C, November, or D, May. If you guys all read these books, you probably know what the answer to this is too. It's funny. You guys are all so smart. I'm curious about the scores at the end. I really am. Okay. Number 14. The tour guide also explains that early married life of the Amish. Well, the tour guide explains the early married life of the Amish. Many times it has an unusual beginning. The beginning is A, the couple must do 4 months of missionary work for the church. B, the couples must abstain from sexual activity until they have been married for 6 months. C, the couple exchange symbolic rings in ring ceremonies held every week. Or D, the couple do not live together for a few months. I'll read this again. The tour guide also explains early married life of the Amish. Many times it has an unusual beginning. That beginning is A, the couple must do 4 months of missionary work for the church. B, the couples must abstain from sexual activity until they have been married for 6 months. C, the couple exchange symbolic rings in ring ceremonies held every week. Or D, the couple do not live together for a few months. Okay, we're moving on. Number 15, we'll talk about that one later. Number 15, you find the buggy ride very enjoyable and informative. You decide to go to the People's Museum. Inside you find a wonderful display of antique Amish quilts. Traditionally, an Amish quilt is made like this. A, only in patterns with biblical names such as Star of David. B, in solid colors, the same colors used in Amish clothing. C, only sewn with black thread. Or D, never bigger than a double bed size. I'll read it again. You find a wonderful display of Amish quilts. Traditionally, an Amish quilt is made like this. A, only in patterns with biblical names, such as the Star of David. B, in solid colors, the same colors used in Amish clothing. C, only sewn with black thread. Or D, never bigger than a double-sized bed. Interesting. Okay. Number 16. Only 4 more. You guys are doing good. While in intercourse, you learn that you can go and have dinner with an Amish family in their home. You decide to do this. You are told to expect traditional Pennsylvania Dutch food that night. I expect you all to get this right, by the way. You're likely to be served A, Slovaki heroes and falafel. B, chow chow, shoofly pie, and pork and sauerkraut. C, spicy bean soup with cheese biscuits. And then D, you cannot book a dinner with the Amish. They would never allow an outsider at their table. I'll read it again. You're going to go have a meal in an Amish home. You're going to be served Pennsylvania Dutch food. You're likely to be served A, Slovaki heroes and falafel. B, chow chow, shoofly pie, pork and sauerkraut. C, spicy bean soup with cheese biscuits. Or D, you cannot book a dinner with the Amish. They would never allow an outsider at their table. We all know. Oh, okay, I'll tell you that's not true. We've done that a long time ago. Mm-hmm. If you go to Old Windmill Farm, you can have an experience where you eat in their basement, and it's so fun. It's so fun. And that's not a whole meal, but it's still really fun. Okay, another drink. What do you think of this so far?
It's a learning experience.
It is.
Yeah.
That's why I like it, because I feel like it's telling a story that something that I didn't know. Okay, number 17. You walk around the streets of intercourse looking at... Oh, wait, no, okay, that's right. Number 17. You walk around the streets of intercourse looking at the quilt stores and pottery shops. You buy a birdhouse, which is handmade by an Amish man. You notice a small grocery store named Zimmerman's. It looks vaguely familiar. You realize that you have seen it in a movie. What is the name of the movie? A, For Better or For Worse. B, Witness. C, Gettysburg. Or D, A River Runs Through It. I'll say it again. You're at a small grocery store in intercourse named Zimmerman's, which I think is closed now. It looks vaguely familiar. You realize that you have seen it in a movie. What is the name of the movie? A, For Better or For Worse. B, witness, C, Gettysburg, or D, a river runs through it. So I don't know if for better or for worse is, but we were talking about the movie For Richer For Poor with Tim Allen and Kirstie Alley. That's a hilarious movie. Who has seen that movie? I might want to watch it soon. It was just so funny.
It is funny.
It wasn't like technically based on Lancaster, but it's a funny movie. And cute and endearing, really. It's not just funny. Okay, number 18. You have a wonderful day visiting the Amish country. At dinner that night, you learn that the Amish refer to non-Amish by a certain expression. That expression is A, the heathen. B, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
B, the English. C, the foreign folk. Or D, the shunned. This is such a funny question. Let me read it again. You find out that the Amish refer to the non-Amish by a certain expression. It is A, the heathen. B, the English. C, the foreign folk. Or D, the shunned. That's a funny question. Like, I wonder if they actually do call us funny names. They probably don't. They're too good. Okay, number 19. After a delightful dinner enjoyed with a friendly family of Amish, you're invited to join them in some entertainment. What sort of activity won't you be invited to do? A, have a hymn singing. B, play a game on their PlayStation. C, play a lawn game. Or D, learn how to milk a cow. I'll be like, yes. I'll read it again. Which activity will you not be asked to do at an Amish house? A, have a hymn singing. B, play a game on their PlayStation. C, play a lawn game. Or D, learn how to milk a cow. You guys are going to all this right because this is for people who really don't know anything, I think, maybe. Some of these questions. Some are really challenging, though. All right, last question. You must leave and catch the last train to Harrisburg. You had delightful 2 days in Lancaster County. You have learned much about the early history of the county and its people. You decide that you will definitely want to return for another visit soon. You take out the bag of food that your Amish dinner hostess gave you to eat on the train. She said that it was from her garden. She called it the Abery. You're eating this. Okay, I'm going to spell it for you in a second. I'll spell it in the comments, actually. Let me do that first, because hang on. It's spelled actually like D and then A. Give me a second. A-B-B-R. It's such a weird word. B-B-E-E. Wait, no.
A-E.
Is it B-B-E-E?
A-E-B-B.
A.
Nope, start over.
What is it?
Nope, one more B. E. B-B-E-E-R-E.
She's so smart. Okay, D. Abery. I'm going to send it in the messages so you can see it. So, D. Abery. You're eating this. A. Strawberries. B. Raspberries. C. Peaches. Or D. Pears. I'll read it again. You're eating something from her garden, an Amish garden. She says it's D. Abery, something like that. It's spelled in the comments. You're eating this. A. Strawberries. B. Raspberries. C. Peaches. And D. Pears. Did you know this one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm just guessing.
Yeah,
It just sounds like that in German.
I know. Okay. Now I'm going to try to give me a minute. I'm going to try to do something so I can see your answers better. Actually, I want you to count your answers, actually, and then tell me what you get at the end. So we'll just go by that. That's the easiest thing to do. All right, number one. And I don't have, I want to go back this way. Oh, they're not listed in. Number one is, obviously, they're all towns in Lancaster County. So number one is like all towns, which is answer
B.
B. Okay, so number one is B. So keep track of your scores. All right. Number two is the famous artist that painted the Hans Eyre house, and it was Andrew Wyeth.
C.
C, thank you. So he's a descendant of Hans Eyre, painted a well-known image of the house before it was restored. Mr. Wyeth's mother was an heir. Okay, so his mom was an heir. So it was Andrew Wyeth, so that's C you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so C. Now let me know if I'm going too fast or anything. Let's see. I'm glad you liked it, Jimmy. I think it's so too. That's why I was like, I'm going to do this on a live stream. Because I thought that was a really fun trivia question. Okay, number three. Strasbourg. Across from the Strasburg Railroad, you will find the largest indoor display of what? The answer is railroad cars and engines,
A.
which is A. Okay, A. I should have, yeah. Glad you wrote that stuff down. So yeah, A, railroad cars. So yeah, directly across from Strasburg Railroad is the Railroad Museum in Pennsylvania. Down the street, though, is the Choo Choo Barn, which is the toy train, which I was kind of like, oh, which one did they mean? But that's what they meant. So this Railroad Museum in Pennsylvania has over 100 locomotives and cars from the mid-19th century through the 20th century. So I've actually never been in there. If you guys have been in there, let me know. I need to go. You know how it is. There's so much to do in Lancaster. It's hard to pick and choose sometimes. Okay, number 4. Upon leaving, okay, this is about, yes, Wheatland, right. The president who lived in Wheatland, who bought the home, who lived there, and is from Pennsylvania, is James Buchanan, which... C. James Buchanan. So, I'm curious how many of you got that right. If you got it wrong, let me know. Because I think it's more of you probably got it right. Because I'm just curious. That was, if you read like anything in Lancaster, most people probably would remember that, but honestly, I would not have known that if we wouldn't have gone. He was the president before Lincoln, right before Lincoln. We were, I wasn't as impressed with him as I was his, what'd you call her, like almost like adopted daughter, not really, like.
Is it his niece?
Yeah, I guess it was his niece, wasn't it? His niece who came to live with him.
Yeah.
Never married. And she was just an amazing woman. Yeah. She was just, it's a neat story. Just at least go to hear that story.
She married and she had 2 kids and they all died.
Yeah, they both died.
Yep.
Just what she did with her life.
Yep.
It was very interesting. His niece. So yes, James Buchanan. Number 5, Zum Anchor means sign of the anchor.
I think I did that one.
Let me just double check on that.
Yeah.
What number? Yeah, it's D, sign of the anchor. Number 5, Zum Anchor means sign of the anchor, which you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So C's next, okay. I gotta go back and forth between the answers and the, all right. Next one is what the, number 6, what the Brethren House was used for in the Revolutionary War, and it was a military hospital.
C.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
So it says the first war casualties arrived on 12/19/1777 from battles at Brandywine and Germantown. The town still has graves from some of them who died while being treated at the hospital. So, yeah, George Washington commandeered the Brethren House for a military hospital. So that's pretty interesting. So, yeah. What number was that? Do you remember that?
It was D. Is that number 5?
Military hospital, yes.
C.
It was 6.
6.
C, military hospital. Mm-hmm. Okay, number 7. When you walk down the street and you see a very large one of these, it's a pretzel for the Julius Sturgis Pretzel Bakery.
Yes.
We have a picture. I have a picture of her in front of the pretzel, actually. So 1861, the Sturgis Pretzel Bakery was opened, and it was the first commercially produced pretzels in the United States. Still going on. So, yeah, you get to do a tour there. It's like $5. Okay. So check out Revere Tavern across from Kitchen Kettle Village. A lot of history regarding Buchanan. Oh, okay. So that's good. Thank you, Jimmy, for that bonus suggestion. That's a good idea. Yes. So, oh yeah. And so the pretzels there are made differently. They kind of upside down, but they represent children with their hands folded in prayer. The 3 holes represent the Trinity. So the whole way they do it, and explain this in the tour, it's like $5 to take the tour. You get to like form your fake pretzel, but it's very interesting. And yeah, it was like religious meanings of why they did the pretzels the way they did. Really neat. Okay, so number 8. Pretty sure this is a D. This is the weird one about how the Moravian elders decided who married who back in the 1700s, and it was actually the prospective groom drew a name out of a coconut shell, which I'm pretty sure is the last one, yeah. D. So yeah, 8 is D, drawing a name out of a coconut shell, which I was surprised, like, what do they do with coconuts? Like, honestly.
Well, that's what threw me off. I'm like, where's your coconut shells in Pennsylvania?
That one is yeah, I didn't get that one. That's interesting. I'm going to find out more about the Moravian Church. I think I'm just going to have to. Number 9, though, I kind of guessed correctly on this one. It was the, when they have a musical group, they announce the birth and deaths. It was the Moravian Trombone Choir. So they would do that, and they also would announce community emergencies. C, thank you. For 9, so 9 is C, the trombone choir. they would announce births, deaths, and even community emergencies from the front of the church. This still has a trombone choir there now, and they have different church events, which I would love to go there actually one day. I've seen Christmas stuff online. I'm like, oh, that looks so cool and beautiful. They have choirs and singing, and oh, love someday. Okay, number 10. This is about the Fulton Opera House and what ghost or ghosts you might see there. It was Conestoga Indians murdered on the site. I kind of guessed that because I knew that they were from that area. But it says, the Fulton is built on the site of an early prison. The townspeople hid a group of Conestoga Indians in the basement so the Paxton boys would not find them. Unfortunately, in one of the lowest points in Lancaster County history, the Indians were discovered by the gang. They were all brutally slaughtered. The prison was torn down a short time later. The Fulton was built a little later in the site. Many people believe that the Indians' ghosts still haunt the theater. That's just a horribly sad story.
Yeah.
That's horribly sad. So that was,
D.
That was D. Thank you. So 10D, Conestoga Indians. All right, 11. This is the first professional performance played at the Opera House. And it was by Old Bull. Although all the performers listed have performed at the Fulton, Old Bull was the first professional performer. He was a Norwegian violinist. Oh, I was like, who is he? That's been cool to hear. So, do you know which one that one is?
I think that was C.
Okay, we'll double check. So, number
Yeah.
11. It was, C, Old Bull for number 11. Okay. Okie dokie. Number 12. Probably most of you got this one. This is about the original name of the town of Intercourse, and it was Cross Keys. Did you get that one right?
I didn't.
So, if you look at the Intercourse sign, it does say that. Let me see what.
It was D.
Okay. D, Cross Keys for number 12. It was the original town of Intercourse's name. So, yeah. So, they had the crossing of paths, kind of, of courses, but they called it Cross Keys for a while. And there's another town in Cross Keys outside of York, which is why I think it's confusing. But, yes. Okay. Next, we have number 13. Probably most of you got this, I think. Which month of the year is the traditional time that Amish weddings happen? And it is November. Did I get that right? Yeah, C, November. So, okay, it's usually in November. This is after the harvest season. The weddings usually take place on a Tuesday or a Thursday and are held at the bride's home. The wedding ceremony is only a small part of the church service for the day. After the wedding, the invited guests stay for lunch, which the bride's family provides. These home-cooked meals are often held for over 300 people. The bride and groom will spend their wedding night at the bride's house with her family. In the morning, they're expected to get up and help clean up from the wedding. So that's about right. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Number 14 is incorrect. So if you were like, what in the world am I supposed to do here? This is why I struggled with this. So I had to email my Amish buddy, Jesse, at Old Wimble Farm and ask him if I was right. So I'll tell you what the choices are again and why they didn't make any sense. It was what happens at the beginning of early married life of an Amish couple. And it was 4 months of missionary work, abstain from sexual activity, exchange rings, because they don't exchange rings, and then do not live together. So I was like, well, none of those are right, so I just guessed don't live together. But it actually is opposite of that. They actually live usually with the bride's family for a few months and make visits through different family members to collect gifts and stuff to provide for their homes. They actually live with either his family or her family, I think usually her family, for months until they have enough stuff to open their own home. So number 14 is just give yourself a point, basically. That's what you need to do. That's why I got a 16 out of 20, not a 15 out of 20. Because that was wrong. Everything else I really enjoyed, but that was not correct. I'm not quite sure how they got that, honestly. All right. Okay. Number 15 is about the Amish quilt, and the answer is it's made in solid colors, the same colors as Amish clothing. Did you get that one right? Yes.
Yeah, B.
So B. 15 is B, the same colors for Amish clothing. You're welcome, Melanie. Okay, the next one I expect you all to get to. Number 16. What is traditional Pennsylvania Dutch food that you would expect to have at home? It is chow chow, shoofly pie, and pork and sauerkraut. One of you guys got that wrong. You tell me, and I'll have to send you a book or something to learn more about the Amish, because there's no way. What one was that? B. That was B. So yeah, I've had all of those. I'm not a huge fan of chow chow. I like it a little bit, but and pork and sauerkraut is what Pennsylvanians usually have for New Year's Day. I grew up eating pork and sauerkraut every New Year's Day and mashed potatoes. I didn't like it until recently, honestly. So yes, and it is true they open their home for dinner as a way to earn money. This is, I mean, maybe like 10 years ago this wasn't as common, but it's more common now to do this, to eat at an Amish home. But yeah. So, oh yes, that's right there. For good luck, they also serve on New Year's Day. Okay, number 17. The grocery store Zimmerman's was in which movie? And it was Witness. B, Witness. So, I'll have to look back at that. I don't remember that specific. I remember him being in the town. Do you remember that part exactly? So yeah, I remember the Dairy Queen. That's the one landmark that I remember at Witness is when they turn up the road and they go up the road. You can see the Dairy Queen at the intersection of Route 30 or oh, did you really, Ron? That's so funny. Yeah, it's a good dish now. I like it as an adult. So Route 30/Lincoln Highway and 896, which is the road that Sight and Sound's on. That intersection is where they had a part in the movie, and the Dairy Queen was there, which is now the Waffle House. So I still think about that Dairy Queen, and my mom and dad were like, "Look, Danielle, this is where the movie was." I remember as a kid being like all proud of that. There's actually another article I read one time about several movies that were filmed in parts of Lancaster. That was a fun trivia thing too. Okay, number 18. You'll probably all get this right too. What do the Amish refer to us non-Amish as? And it is the English. Watch out for them English. That's another line from Witness that we always like in our family. As you say, watch out for them English or something like that. It's so cute. Okay, that was, what number was that? B? It's funny, there's a lot of B's.
There.
Huh. So when in doubt, choose B. Okay, 19. After a delightful dinner, what you would not be invited to do at an Amish house is play a game on their PlayStation. Also B. Right, yeah. Obviously. That's a given too. There's no electricity and they wouldn't play that. Even if that was battery power, they would not play it. Although we were talking to Anna and they do have smartphones and they have to regulate their kids too with their phones. So anyway, number 20, last one. What does de-abery mean? I wonder who got this. Oh, it's strawberries. Okay. I was thinking it was raspberries in my mind actually. So that is Pennsylvania Dutch for strawberries, which I never knew that. So der patching is the word for peaches, de berry is the word for pears, and de hembury is the word for raspberries. Huh. Interesting. So I learned that today too. Okay. That was that. So what'd you guys get? Put your answers in the chat. I'm excited to see what you got. How many did you get right? Okay, so Ron says, Boys from Brazil with Gregory Peck was filmed in Lancaster. Cool. Yeah, there are a couple like random ones. 16. Good job, Melanie. You tied me. What'd you get?
13.
Oh, good try, you. That's still good though.
What was all the history of,
I know.
of Lidditz?
Yeah, those are hard ones.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, this is very challenging. So Melanie got 16. Anybody beat Melanie? Okay. I'm just looking through all. Ron went to Wheatland Junior High. Oh, really? That's interesting. What a beautiful place to live and go to school. Did you like it there, Ron? Like, what was it like? Because I went to junior high in New York, and junior high is always difficult. I don't think it doesn't matter where you are. Yeah, Ron, you're lucky. You've been a Lancasterian all your life. Very, very blessed that way. Okay, so... Okay, the store's closed. Phone's still there. Okay, good to know, Jimmy. Interesting. Now I'm gonna have to like look for that next time I go back that way and see. I thought it was closed, Zimmerman's. I'm not sure when they closed. So what else? You guys give me your. My mom got 16.
Oh.
Good job, Mom. You guys got. Come on, people, give me your scores. Ron, you probably scored really high, unless of course the Lidditz thing threw you too, because those are kind of difficult. Some of those are kind of difficult. I don't know why this is not showing up. Isn't that weird? Millie's happy for you, Mom. Okay. I'm waiting a little bit longer because I want to see your scores. There's no shame here. No shame. It's just fun. It was, I learned a lot. I mean, some of them I'm like, oh yeah. Like, I got the Home of the Anchor wrong because I think I wrote something else. But so let me tell you which ones I got wrong the first time. Take Lancaster Retirement. Huh. Well, good for you, Ron. So Jay Wilson got 12. Thank you for your honesty. Hey, some of these were tricky. Some are very obvious, but some were tricky because they were very detailed history. This is why I wanted to do this, because I thought it was a really fun quiz. I learned a lot. I liked how It was like a story. That was fun. I love stories, so that was fun. So I'll tell you what I got wrong the first time, which is on my phone. But I think I got the strawberries wrong. I think the first time I got, well, number 14 is scrapped because it's wrong anyway. I'm pretty sure I got the Fulton Performance Old Bull wrong. I didn't know that at all. The coconut shell. Didn't know that either about the, which is crazy. Oh my goodness gracious. I knew the military hospital because I learned that when I was doing my research on my video. And the sign of the anchor I got wrong because I thought it was something else. Let me look and see what it was.
The N or the...
I think I put, yeah, in the star or something like that, in the star. So I got those wrong. I think that's it. Oh, I think I got the artist of the Hans Air House wrong too. I had no idea about that. I mean, they're not familiar to me at all. I do know some of the artists that I see sometimes in the markets with their paintings, but I didn't know that. So those are ones, that's what I got wrong. So, any more, have we had any more scores put up here yet? A coconut shell. I think every time I see a coconut shell now, I'm gonna be like, those poor people. The latest questions kill me. I know, Jimmy, they were difficult. I just got lucky. I got lucky. Yeah. Besides that, you got almost everything right but one. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Dan and Cooper both got, I think, pretty low on this score. But okay. Well, Mom, I'm really proud of you too, Melanie. That's interesting. I did get lucky on some of the Lidditz ones. I just kind of, I thought it was trombone, because I remember hearing about that before. That was kind of lucky. Let's see. In military hospital, I knew, because I thought that was interesting when I was researching Lidditz a while ago. So yeah, maybe we'll do another one of these someday. So, okay, let me tell you where this is at. This is on funtrivia.com, and you would just type in the search bar, I'll write it in the chat, a visit to Amish country, Lancaster. If you just type that in the search bar, you would find this. But they have a lot on here, the funtrivia.com. I'll type it in here. And what I like about it is that you can choose the difficulty. Like, we love trivia in our family. A lot of times when we go out to eat, we just play the random trivia. It's just fun. We just love doing that. But yeah, if you go to funtrivia.com and then type in the search bar Lancaster Amish trivia, you should be able to find several Lancaster trivia quizzes. It's kind of cool. There's a lot. And then you can choose your difficulty. So that's really fun too. So, and I didn't actually like submit my answers. I just, if you page down the whole way, you can see the answers at the bottom. So that's that. So maybe we'll do another one. Thanks for joining us today. It was fun.
It was.
Yeah. So, okay. Anybody else have any questions or comments they want to make before we get on out of here? An hour's a good amount of time to be on here. You're welcome for the trivia. It was really fun. I enjoyed it. Did you read the Beverly Lewis book yet?
No, I haven't finished it yet.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe we'll do that one eventually. But we just read, what was it called?
The Orchard.
The Orchard. Yeah, we read The Orchard by Beverly Lewis. She's still reading it. So maybe we'll do a book club about that, because that was a good story. And that was a sweet story. Anybody else read the Beverly Lewis book yet? The new one she released in September? Oh yeah, Jimmy. Have a wonderful time. They're going to Lancaster.
Oh, fun.
Oh, you're going to have so much good food there. I was thinking about that, how I wish I could live there or be there at Thanksgiving and like order like all my food from like a restaurant, like Birdhand. I'd probably just order stuff from Birdhand because it's so good. Oh, I hope you have fun, Jimmy.
Pecan pie.
Oh yeah. So yeah, well, we had a girls trip. Yes, in October we had a girls trip, and two of them had never been to Pennsylvania, let alone Lancaster. She went along, another friend who'd been there before, and then two new ones. And we got chocolate pecan pie at Miller's, and these girls went nuts over that pie. It was good. It was good. And I've had chocolate pecan pie before. Another restaurant, I didn't really like it, but that was good. That was good. Oh, your parents are going too. Oh, yeah. That's a very good idea, Melanie. I love their jams there. I remember the good old days before COVID. You could walk into the Jam and Relish kitchen and just like sample things the whole time. There was like 25 sample stations, and I would get full because I loved trying all their stuff. Oh, I love the Kitchen Kell Village. Like Jam and Relish kitchen is so yummy. Oh, are you really, Jimmy? Oh, you can look at properties.
nice.
Oh man, I'm so jealous. I actually was looking online just to see what was out there as far as sale stuff, but it is my dream. But Cooper, our youngest, is a junior in high school. So I feel like when he graduates, depending on, he's thinking about going in the military, so we'll still have Seth in college, so we still want to stay here for in-state tuition, but I would love to have like the property. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It's something there where we can go as a family, we can go as friends, and I can send my friends there and maybe you guys and do Airbnb. So yeah. So Jimmy, when you say look at properties, you want to just have an extra property or like actually move there? I'm curious about that. As a Long Island guy, would you leave the city? So no snow. Oh yeah, so we're in Oklahoma and it was like 90 degrees here. Maybe like, and we had snow yesterday. It got cold yesterday. It was in the 30s all day.
Freezing.
And then also we look out, there's like snow falling. I'm like, what? It was like flurrying. It sounded almost like sleep, but we had a fire going, our first fire this season. It was so much fun. But my dad's like kind of jealous because he loves snows. He's like, you're snowing in Oklahoma, you got your snow. How many times do we have snow before Thanksgiving? I mean, rarely.
Rare.
We don't get a lot of snow here anyway, but
Yeah.
But yeah, so I went to pick up my son from Chick-fil-A, move full time.
Oh, wow.
Jimmy, that's so exciting. I hope it works out for you. God keep us updated about how that goes. But yeah, I went to pick up Cooper at Chick-fil-A and there was like snow on the cars there. Like they had laid there
Holy cow.
on those cars. I felt like it must have snowed more down there than here. But 62 degrees. Oh yeah, hey, it's been like that here. It's been warm here. Really warm here. In fact, I think since August and July it's been like above average warm. So that's why it was shocking last night. It's gonna be cold all week though, like 30s and 40s all week.
Yeah.
Welcome to Oklahoma.
Yeah. Thursday it was warm in the morning, and then
It dropped.
lunchtime it got dark and
I know, it was so weird.
really cold in the evening. So
Hey, that's what they say about Oklahoma. If you don't like the weather, just wait a minute.
wait 5 minutes. Yep.
It's so true.
It is so true.
Oh, so, okay, well, we're going to go so I can let her go back to her life. And thank you guys for playing and joining us. It was fun. Thank you.
You're
It
welcome.
was fun.
It's always fun.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving. Early Merry Christmas. I might be releasing a, thank you, Hans. It was fun. I'm going to be releasing a Christmas video soon. So I've been, like, making this video and, like, listening to music and having my candle list. I'm like, usually I'm very strict about waiting until Thanksgiving. But I'm like, oh, let's put our decorations up now. But anyway, you guys all have a good Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.